Colorado Springs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
There's
pretty
a lot of
cold
jobs
there.
over there.
Yeah, and he was in the military as well. So yeah, things worked out for him. Yeah, yeah. So you working with AWS quite a bit, right? You still in the reserve? Okay, that's what's up. Okay. So tell me which circus did you work for? You just started a new role. All right, that's what's up.
Nice.
Welcome everyone. We are gonna start in 1 minute. If you are new, stop by the chat, say hi, say where you're calling in from. Go to the poll. It's a three-question poll. Please answer it. Yeah, backstage Cirque du Soleil. Yep,
Nice.
that's what's up, man. I'm glad to see you in the chat, man. You haven't forgotten about us. Alex Williams from Miami. Oh, I have roll call. So I have some people um, who's been working with Pete, our enrollment advisor. So I'm gonna do some roll call. Rolf Mongu, Alex Desrosiers. If you hear your name, type a one in the chat. Rob Bateman or Batman, Jeffrey Joseph, Dira Newton, Jalen Morgan, Jerome Carter Jr., Ramsey Nyakojo, Isaiah Moore, Deshaun Gordon, Travis Barnett, Precious Sellers, um, James Edward, Shaheen Dupree. Only one person is here in all this list. So James, if you have any question at any point, please put it in the chat. We're gonna be answering questions at the end. Okay. And yeah, and Pete says hi. All right, we are. It's 7:06. Ivy, let's get it going. All right. Are you gonna share the presentation? Yes. And turn off the music, and we're gonna start right now. So welcome everyone. This is gonna be a very simple, quick workshop slash demo on Ansible automation. We have with us here Stefan Treadwell, alumni from yellowtail.tech, also um, has the Ansible RET certification. He's also an instructor with us. He's part of the community. He's very active in the yellowtail.tech community. He's here with us. He's going to be leading the quick demo. And by the way, I mean quick. I wanted to just give people an idea of what Ansible automation is, to show you really that it's not necessarily rocket science. The concepts are very straightforward. So before we do that, I'm going to just quickly introduce the company for people who are new here. I'm going to keep that short and sweet, and then we're going to jump straight into the demo. Hopefully, we keep all of this wrapped um, in under 30 minutes. All right, next slide. So about Yellowtail Tech, we launched in 2016. In about 6 months, we're gonna be celebrating 10 years. So next year, we're gonna be celebrating all year for our 10-year anniversary. We offer two programs, one 6 months, one 9 months. We are an AWS official training partner, and we specifically focus on helping people with no IT background transition into tech, like Stefan right here. Um, so that's what we do. Next slide. So a little bit about me. My name is Juby. I am the CEO at yellowtail.tech. I am responsible for student outcomes, really. So what I do is anything to actually enhance the program and make sure we deliver more results. And I have a background in management information systems, and I'm also RHCSA certified. So I'm Red Hat certified. So we have two programs. We have Linux for Jobs program and we have Cloud for Jobs program. We mostly lean people towards Linux for Jobs because this we believe this is the stepping stone. Even if you're considering cloud, Linux is the way to go to actually get into cloud. Um, but we also offer Cloud for Jobs. Next slide. As you know, as you may know, or as encourage you to do, look us up online. We have a 4.9 average on all review, bootcamp review sites, although we don't see ourselves as a bootcamp, but we fall in that category. So we've won many awards in terms of best bootcamp. So look us up and see our reviews and go on the website and see our student success stories, including Anele's student success story. Look him up. He has a very interesting story. Next slide. We also have been honored to be featured as one of the fastest companies in the US in 2023 and 2024, and hopefully we make the list in 2025 as well. Next slide. So we have an exclusive session on Ansible automation. So that's what we're gonna do today. I decided to switch it up a little because yeah, we keep talking about automation. We keep talking about Ansible. We keep talking about how straightforward it is. And I'd like to make sure people have a glimpse, have a sneak peek of what Ansible is and how you move around. And I want to make sure to emphasize that this is a brief demo. We don't want to bore you, especially if you don't have the tech background and contextual knowledge. Next slide. So I'm gonna pass the baton to Stefan to take it away to tell us what Ansible is in very basic layman term. Keep it simple, and the floor is yours, Stefan.
Of course. Thanks, Juby. Good evening, everybody. Again, like Juby said, my name is Stefan Treadwell. I am a Yellowtail Tech alumni. And today we just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna share my screen actually.
Yeah, that would probably be better. Hey, please,
All right, here we go.
as we are demonstrating, as you have questions about Ansible or about Yellowtail Tech, please put them in the chat, and at the end, we will address them.
All right, great. So what is Ansible? Okay, Ansible is an automation tool for keeping servers configurations consistent and predictable. I guess an example of that would be like to ensure that the web server application is installed and configured the same way on 50 servers. So if you can imagine managing about 50 servers, and you can literally install the web server application with just a click of a button on 50 servers rather than going into each one individually. That would take way too much time. Another thing Ansible does is you can install and update applications across many servers, okay, like deploying a new version of the web application to all servers just in seconds, like I mentioned before. And you can automate daily tasks, repetitive tasks like reboots, updates, and even user creation. And I'm actually going to do a user creation for you guys in a few. So there's a lot of things that you can do with Ansible. Ansible is agentless. So what that means is there's no need to install any software on the target server. So like I said before, let's say you are managing 50 servers. Can you imagine installing Ansible on 50 different servers SSHing into them or logging into them and literally doing DNF install, like you would need Ansible to install Ansible. And that doesn't make sense. But agentless means all you have to do is configure one master node, make life so much easier. Okay. Ansible uses YAML language. All right. YAML language is easy to read, easy to write, and plain English. All right. You don't need to be the best coder in the world. I'm not even the best coder in the world. Frankly, I don't even like coding. But as long as you know English, you'll be able to create playbooks and learn YAML language. It's really that easy. YAML file tells the server what you want to accomplish, not how to do it. All right, so you tell it, you set the playbook up to tell Ansible what to do and how you want your servers. All right. Um, YAML files describes the end result, not step-by-step instructions. All right. And the cool thing about Ansible is that it figures out how to achieve the end result. So literally all you have to do is set it up, do your command Ansible dash playbook, and then the name of the playbook, and Ansible does the rest for you. Pretty good stuff. All right. I mentioned playbooks. What are playbooks? Playbooks are clean automation recipes. All right. Just think of your favorite food recipe when you throwing everything in a pot and you cooking it up until it's finished. All right. Ansible is the same exact way. You throw in your modules, your rules, and literally just setting up your playbook and you're running it with just one command. All right. That's what a playbook is. You're setting up uh you're setting up your playbook to tell Ansible what to do on those servers that you're managing. All right. Inside of this YAML file consists which servers to manage. All right. We're going to see that in a couple of seconds. What tasks to do and what the results should look like in the infrastructure. Okay. In fact, here's a playbook example. All right. Installing the application named Nginx. I know a lot of people heard about Nginx, and also HTTPD. All right. But in this playbook here is an example of a task inside of a playbook. All right. So this is literally how you set it up. It looks very simple and easy. First, you start with the name. Okay. What is this task doing? It's installing application named Nginx. Simple as that. And then yum, which a lot of us know, and if you don't know, yum is just a command and on the the Linux server to install a package. So you can use yum, you can use DNF, and you can also use package. But those are the type of modules that you can use to install Nginx. All right. Um, and then you have your state. The state is what you want the application to be. It can be the latest version. You could also use absent to remove the application from your server. And there's a bunch of options for state. Okay. And this is a playbook to create a new user. All right. So this playbook here is adding a new user called deploy on all servers. Okay. So let's walk through it. This is the beginning of our playbook. All right. We have the name. What is it doing? Simply creating a username deploy. All right. We're going to do this on all the hosts that we're managing. All right. Host, and then all you could either have a group, you could have an individual server, it doesn't matter. But all targets all servers in your inventory. And then become for those who have experience on the Linux system, you need escalated or excuse me, elevated privileges to run certain tasks, and creating users is one of those things. So you would need pseudo privileges or elevated privileges. That's what become is. It's telling Ansible to become 9 times out of 10, it would be root because root has the most pseudo privileges. And then you have your tasks, all right? And underneath your task are the things that you want Ansible to do. So Ansible is going to go into all the servers as sudo. It's going to use the user command to create a username deploy. All right. And state ensures that the user exists. All right. If not present, Ansible will create it. All right. If it's already there, then it's going to skip it. All right. And that's one of the beautiful things about Ansible as well. Okay. Another example of a playbook is to reboot servers. All right. This playbook reboots all servers useful after system updates or maintenance. All right. We're going to see the same thing again. This is how you set up a playbook. You got your name. What is this playbook doing? It's rebooting all servers, right? Host all become true. You need sudo privileges to reboot your systems, all right? And then you have your task. It's simply reboot the machine, and it's simply just rebooting without any options, all right? So now we're going to go into a server, and we're just going to see a quick little demo of what this looks like, all right? Who am I? Always started off with that, and then I like to see the host name to see which server I'm in. I'm in 10.1.12.193. All right. And now we're just going to look at what a playbook looks like. It's going to be the same exact thing of what we just showed on the slides. All right. So we have started off with the name. This is going to create the user deploy on all hosts. All right. Pseudo privileges. And then we're going to get into our only one task. All right. You can have multiple tasks. You can have multiple plays. All right. It's going to add deploy user. This is the user module. All right. Can't forget that. You actually need the command. And then you have the name of the user, deploy, and then state to make sure that this person is present. Okay. And before I do that, I just want to show you guys that this user is not on that server. Okay. So I'm going to SSH into this machine, SSH. Now I'm inside of the server that I'm managing. Okay. So if we do hostname -I, you can see this was the one that I was in originally, and this is the one I'm in now. If I do ID deploy, no such user, right? So now I'm going to exit, go back to that server, my master node, and I'm going to run that playbook. Okay. I'm going to run the user add.yaml playbook. Remember, playbooks are YAML files. So I'm going to do Ansible -playbook. This is the command to initiate Ansible execution. And then you do user add. And let's see this thing work. Simple. We're done. Okay. I didn't have to go to that server and manually create that user. Now, can you imagine 100+ machines using, running this playbook would be perfect, or using Ansible will be perfect as a Linux system administrator when you're managing multiple servers. So as you can see, this is the task that we had in the playbook that I showed you guys. It just add deploy user. All right. This yellow, okay, means that there was a change. All right. This means that this user was actually created. So now we're going to go back in here. Oh, we're going to go back into that server. We're going to SSH. And now I'm going to run ID deploy. And here's the user's information here. All right. So let's say I run it again. Okay. I went back into that server. I exited out. Now I'm back into the first server I was in. I can't remember the name. I'm going to run this playbook all over again. All right. All right. So now you see that the task is actually green. Okay. This means that there was no change. The user already exists and the playbook just completed. Okay. And then we have another playbook that I can run, server reboot. We could look at this one real quick. And this simply just reboots the machine. Okay. And the setup is real simple. It's easy. So we're going to run this playbook. So what this playbook is going to do is it's going to reboot the machine, and it's not going to finish until the machine, finishes rebooting. All right. So let me go ahead and run that. Now it's rebooting the machine. And like I said, it actually takes time to reboot the machine. But once it comes back on, that's when the playbook should keep moving again. Okay.
So while we wait, if anyone has any questions, any observation about Ansible or automation in general, put it in the chat so we
Yeah,
can start a conversation after the demo.
absolutely.
So I already have a question from Syed. Can sysops administrator take the Ansible um, automation course? Uh, are you talking about AWS sysops?
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Are you, Syed, how solid is your Linux knowledge? Yeah. Anele said it's important to mention that um, indentation is very important in playbooks. That is very true.
100%.
Yes. Yeah. Very important.
100%.
It's uh, English language, but there's still syntax you have to follow, which you're gonna learn with practice. Is Ansible being offered with Linux for Jobs? Lane Rice, yes, it's being offered as a track with Linux for Jobs, but I have to warn you, it's the last cohort where the it's the Linux Ansible the Ansible automation course is included in the Linux for Jobs tuition. So if you are considering enrolling, this is the best time to enroll to actually have that included in your tuition. It will be available next time, but it will be available for an additional cost. What company is, if the company, uh, what if the company has many location or globally? That's the beauty of it, Jeremy.
Mhm.
Anywhere once you have access to the server, it doesn't matter where in the world it is, with one button, you can, with one playbook, you can direct many servers and many sides of the world. That is the beauty of automation. That is the beauty of Linux and the beauty of networking, most importantly.
Absolutely.
What quick tip can you give for learning Ansible quickly? Well, the tip is don't try to learn it quickly. Just learn it.
That's
Take
a
your time,
fact.
put in the work, and you know, make it happen.
Yeah, one of the things I did, I just kept practicing running playbooks and creating playbooks. That's all you can do. Just keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and eventually it'll click. Go ahead, Juby.
You used to play basketball, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
So it's the same thing. You
literally.
practice your shots, you practice your layup, you practice whatever, and
Hmm.
you run the play. It's actually very, very similar to the
It
playbook.
is.
You run the play.
Set your plays up and you run them. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, before we get into, more questions, as you guys can see that the reboot has finished. All right. Now we have the yellow, we have two OKs, and then we have that one change. All right. And on a very high level, this is pretty much what Ansible does. You can literally automate anything. And, going back to that question that Jeremy asked, I'm in New Jersey and I'm dealing with a virtual server right now. With Ansible, as long as you have SSH access, which I was doing, I was SSHing into that server, and you have Python, you're able to run Ansible on anything, anywhere. All right, as long as they
yep.
have those two things.
And once you have access too,
Yep. And what you have
you have to have
access.
VPN, when you have proper networking setup. For example, this server you're using, is this a Yellowtail Tech's data center server?
Okay. Yep, it is.
Is it?
It is. Yeah, I'm using
Yeah,
vSphere. So,
exactly. So to answer your
hmm
question, Stefan is in New Jersey. The data center is in Maryland. It's in Silver
yep.
Spring, Maryland. Yeah. Yeah. What else? How long would you recommend to prepare for the RCE? Stefan, tell them.
No, absolutely. So it took me about 2 months because I was in emotion and I was literally just doing this every single day. But I feel like the average is probably 3 months. The fact that
Well,
that you have the RHCSA, you're literally just learning how to create the playbooks. You know how to do most of the Linux work and most of the Linux commands. So when you look at, what you need to do, you're going to say, "Oh, I need to DNF install," right? So all you need to know is that module to install packages. And then once you learn how to set up a playbook, you're
and
good.
and Stefan, you don't have to keep all of this in your head at work, by the way.
Absolutely not.
You see what I mean?
Look at this.
This is not an exercise of memorization. It's all there. You see
Absolutely.
what I mean?
And you could
So
use this
it's
on the exam.
exactly. So so
So,
there are libraries that actually it's called libraries that actually have the playbook, the syntax
right.
to help you actually run what you need.
Which is that.
Yeah, Jerome, please reach out to us. We have an Ansible course for returning Linux for job students. That's starting between a month and two. I'm not sure, but please reach out to us, to our student success team. They will give you all the details, Jerome. Welcome back, man. Jerome also is an old LFJ student,
Nice.
old LFJ alumni.
One
I did,
person asked about, I'm sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
i- Um, so Jerome, I don't have the date, but please reach out to us and we'll get you that date for the next start date for the Ansible. You are going to try to answer a question in the chat, Stefan?
Yeah, William asked, he mentioned Python. As far as Python goes, what Python level is needed for learning Ansible? My Python is so basic. It's so basic. And actually Python is one of those, it's just like YAML, right? It's as long as you know English, you'll be able to do it. So you don't have to have the best um level or knowledge of Python. You could still do this for sure.
Yeah. How long is the course, Stefan? Anita is
Oh,
asking.
yep. So the course, so we have 5 weeks of class and then 3 weeks of like apprenticeship JIRA tickets where you guys are doing hands-on tasks. And then you have 3 weeks of cert prep. So if I'm counting correctly, that's about 11 weeks. And with the cert prep, you're going to take 3 practice exams that mock the actual exam.
So by the end of the last practice exam, you should be good to go. And I want to insist, going for the Ansible track, we don't I want to make sure people understand. We recommend you go sit for the RCE, but we don't it's not uh, um we don't force you to do it.
Right.
I think it's the best thing to do to position yourself in the marketplace. But the only thing that's required in the Linux for Jobs program is the RCSA. This you need to get the RCSA.
Yeah.
But for the Ansible automation, you can take the program, take the apprenticeship. We're gonna highly and forcefully recommend that you take the RCE, but we don't require it for you to go hit the job market. Danielle, on I'm on the list to take the next round. Super excited. Oh, very good. Cool. Do you know when it's starting? Maybe you have that information. I just don't have the date with me right now.
I think Terry said June 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, um, Jerome. June 2nd, would that work for you? What kind of labs did you do to prepare for RTE, Stefan?
Hmm. So I did things like so I just typed in chat GPT, and when I learned about a module, I would just say, give me 5 examples to complete this playbook or something like that. Or give me 5 tasks so I can give me 5 tasks around this module so I can learn how to just use the module, create the playbooks, get used to the options that's in the playbook. So ChatGPT was definitely helpful in studying with people. I actually found a friend on LinkedIn that was also studying for RATE, and we were just studying together. So
Did you
ChatGPT and other
did,
folks.
did you find a friend or did you befriend someone because of Linux?
I literally found him. Like I went on LinkedIn and I typed in
Yeah.
RHCE. I saw he was
Yep.
studying. I
That's
jumped
what's
into
up.
his DM and made a phone call, and we're good friends to this day,
It,
actually.
that that's what I wanted to highlight, guys. Once you're in the industry, you can grow your network. You can reach out to people who have the same
Hmm.
interests as you, and then you make it happen. But Jerome, I'm gonna have the team reach out to you. Okay, so don't worry. I already took note. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna reach out to the team. They're gonna reach out to you. Okay, so no worries about that. What future plans are happening at Yellowtail.tech? Future plans. Um, we have something in the making. We're gonna announce it in about 2 months. But for
Nice.
now, it's Linux, it's automation, it's Ansible, it's RCE, it's automation, automation, automation. That's what the market is asking for, Tony. Um, so again in the chat, because Pete is gonna ask me, anyone here is actively working with Pete on enrolling for May 27th. If you are, put a one in the chat. Jean-Pierre, do you have any questions for me specifically? Anything you want to clarify? So, Anele, are you still working heavily with AWS? Not currently. Okay. Please do more of this. This was awesome. Thank you. It worked, Stefan. I
Yeah,
didn't,
I
I
see.
didn't, I wasn't sure people were going. I was worried it was going to be a little bit too technical. We tried to keep it as simple and basic and straightforward as possible
Right.
because we know most people here are considering tech. They are not yet into tech. Okay. But I think we are at the 30-minute mark. If you don't
Mhm.
have any additional questions, if you have one last question, put it in the chat. If not, yeah, man, Stefan, for coming. Um,
Of
the
course.
demo was sweet, short, and simple. Yeah, we definitely have to do that demo again,
Yeah.
maybe with other playbooks
Okay.
to keep it fresh. But yeah, definitely. Andre, do you
Gotcha.
have any questions for me? Uh, Jean-Jacques, do you have any questions for me? No questions. Okay. All right. So don't forget, if you are a current student, Anele, come to GovTechCon. Let's link up. Jerome, come to GovTechCon. Let's meet up. Last year, there was so many alumni at GovTechCon.
It
We were
was.
more than 20, right?
Yeah, it was
I have a
it was
picture. Yeah, we were
yeah.
almost 30 people. And this year, I would like to have 60, 70 alumni come through. So this is 15% off your ticket to attend GovTechCon in September, between September 11th and 13th at the Gaylord National Convention Center in Maryland, in the DC area. I think, Jerome, if I recall well, you live in the DC area, right? Jerome, what city do you live in?
Yeah, it is a beautiful area.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. But you can still fly in. Stefan is you're gonna drive down, right?
Yeah, I'm a drive.
Yeah,
Yep.
you are close enough to drive.
Yeah. Nice little 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. I don't want to, stretch this too long. I like to keep the open houses short and sweet. Thank you for coming. If you have any additional questions, please use the link. Uh, Ivy just shared the link. Ivy, share it again. Click on the link, schedule a 10-minute call with an enrollment advisor. And then let's chat. Let's see if it's yellowtail.tech is the right fit for you. Let's talk about Ansible. Let's talk about Linux and go from there. Do I still do we still offer referral fee? Yes, we do, Anelli. Just reach out to us, and then if you have someone interested, yeah, man, definitely. But otherwise, have a great evening, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you,
No
Ivy.
problem.
Thank you, Kim, and have a great evening.
All right. You too, Juby. Take care.
Okay, bye bye.